Welcome to the Teressa Joubert Show. I matched my shirt to the background. Do you like it? So today's been a fun day. It's been a bit of a roller coaster of emotions over here on my end. I have a mother-in-law that needs some prayers. If anybody is able to just send healing this way. She's a wonderful mother-in-law. We're very blessed. So yeah, it's been a bit emotional. And I have 3 boys. Did I tell you that? I have 3 boys. They're 11, 10, and 6. And yeah, they're all on devices at the same time. And my living room sounds like it's insane. So, for someone who is sensitive to energies, it is not an easy space to exist in sometimes. So I have this beautiful space downstairs here that I created. Wonderful. And yeah, I am really looking forward to tonight's show. And earlier today on my other radio show, I was discussing relationships. And I just want to talk a little bit about relationships to loved ones on the other side. So if you have a loved one and you want to talk to them tonight, I would encourage you to call in. I especially would love to connect any of you to, if you have lost a spouse, I would love for you to call in. So my specialty is mediumship and also connecting to your aura. I can see your aura. I can see the colors of it. I can see your personality and what you're good at, what your thinking style is, just generally a lot about you based on your aura. And I love to take a look at those colors and what's happening with you because of those colors emotionally. And I love talking to loved ones on the other side. So I just want to talk briefly about love languages. And I want to ask you a question. What's your love language? Do you know? Do you know what love language you have? The different love languages that exist are words of affirmation. Do you give or love to receive words of affirmation? What is your love language? Do you give time to others? Do you need people to give you their time as a love language? Or do you feel not so great when you're not getting time from others? That's a huge, huge love language for a lot of people. And when we lose a loved one and we don't have that time with them anymore, it can be such a void and vacancy in our life, in our heart space. And life can be difficult from that space. So I want to encourage you to have a spiritual relationship with your loved ones on the other side, to connect to them in your consciousness, to speak to them in your consciousness, in your head, to give them your time with your thoughts. And I just want you to know that that is okay to do, that your loved ones will hear everything that you say to them. Guaranteed 100% your loved ones will hear everything that you have to say to them. They notice how we are feeling. They know what we're thinking about. They know what's going on in our lives, and they want to give us emotional support. So I really want to encourage you to go into your consciousness and talk to your loved ones if that's something that you need. And the other love languages can be, there's so many of them. Some of my favorites are acts of service. My husband is really good at that one. He's constantly helping with taking care of the kids, with doing the dishes, with emptying lunch pails. These acts of service are a big deal for me. So I try to repay that back with words of affirmation back to him. And just take note that whatever love language your partner has or some of your family members, take note of what their love language is, because they will really need you to give them that love language back. So if they are giving you acts of service, give them acts of service back and show them that you appreciate them and give them those words of affirmation. And some things that we can do with our loved ones that are crossed over. is that we can give them gifts with intention, with our thoughts. We can think about something and want to give that to our loved ones on the other side, and they will receive it. They will receive it in their consciousness. They will receive it on the other side. So if there is something that you want to give your loved ones as a gift, let's say it's a piece of jewelry or a bouquet of flowers or a delicious piece of cake, or say you're making someone's best recipe and you want to invite them into your space to hang out with you. Their spirit will for sure hang out with you either as an orb in the room, or their energy will be in your consciousness, or perhaps their energy will just be in their spirit form, but physically in the room in their spirit form. There's different ways for people in spirit to show up. They might just be in your consciousness, but they might show up in the room with you. Basically, they don't want to interrupt or alter our timelines unless they are invited. So I want to encourage you to be mindful that your loved ones would love to have an invitation to hang out with you. They would love to be acknowledged in your consciousness, in your thoughts. And if you need to connect with someone who's crossed over, I want to encourage you to have a spiritual relationship with that person and to give them the love language that they need, the love language that you have. If that means words of affirmation, then I want to encourage you to say loving things to your loved ones on the other side. Say those loving things in your mind, in your thoughts, or you can even write them down. If you didn't get a chance to say goodbye to someone who has passed, you can write them a letter and they will see it. They will read it. Their spirit and their soul on the other side, guaranteed 100%, they will read it. And your heart will have more peace because it had a chance to get out what it needed to say that didn't have an opportunity to. I want you to know that your loved ones that have passed, they know how you're feeling. They know how you're feeling about them. They know what you wanted to say. But if you're able to articulate it into words and write it down on a letter or say it out loud in the room, sort of like you're saying it to them, they will hear you. And I know that that brings us a lot of peace and comfort, knowing that we have that opportunity to have a spiritual relationship with our loved ones on the other side. So you can continue to use your love language with your loved ones on the other side. The part that's the hardest is the physical connection that we don't have anymore. And this is something that I love to teach people how to do spiritually in their consciousness, is to call upon your loved one and create a sacred space in your own space, sort of like on a beach, and invite them into that space. And you can hug them. You can have a spiritual hug with your loved ones in your consciousness. This is entirely possible, and it is very rewarding and completely bittersweet, but it's better than nothing. So there are ways to do this. And if you would like to have more instruction on this, I encourage you to check out my YouTube channel, Teressa Joubert, and you can download some amazing meditations on grounding and some positive affirmations, and just subscribe, because there will be some amazing meditations coming up in the future that you will not want to miss. So we are going to take our first caller for this evening. We have Brooke in Perth, Western Australia. Welcome. Welcome, Brooke.
Hi, how are you?
How are you? Good. How are you?
Oh, yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if my questions popped up there, but I have been a bit better.
What's up?
Yeah, hoping to get some insight.
Okay. We're talking about relationships this evening and loved ones on the other side. Are you
Yeah.
wanting to connect to someone that's crossed over?
I was asked for some guidance, in general.
Okay.
Really.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know that that's a common thing for people to do when they're calling into this radio station. Um, when I connect to your aura and I see your colors, I see a lot of deep, deep green colors, which is a very intense healing color, Brooke. That means that your emotional self is craving some pretty intense healing. And that means
oh
taking
yeah,
space. It means taking space from people. And I see an image of deep blue. Deep blue is a very protective color. It is a little bit of an isolating color. It means that your
yeah,
emotional self wants to take space from people, from situations, from life. Yeah.
yeah.
So
I'm going through a situation at the moment. I'm due to give birth to my little baby
oh,
anytime now, and I'm having troubles with with her father at the moment. So
yeah,
I'm
I'm so
really
sorry.
unsure about the future now.
Yeah, I'm so sorry to hear that. I see an image of a huge mountain in front of you and a lot of fog. So I'm sorry that you're going through this feeling of needing to climb. I'm not sure if you're in an abusive relationship or if you're with a narcissist or and I'm so sorry to use those terms, but I feel a level of unsafety in my heart space when I connect to you. And I give you so much compassion and empathy. I know how scary and stuck that can feel.
Yeah.
I want to encourage you to try your very best to create a space for yourself where you feel safe and know
Okay.
that that is really, really, really important for you and for your baby and for your future. And
Yeah.
if that means, checking in with your ego and calling on a loved one, like a family member, and perhaps needing to stay with them for a little while, then I encourage you to do that because
Okay.
I've I've learned that um, when we stay in relationships where we are super vulnerable and we don't feel safe emotionally, usually when we are going through a hard time and we're overly emotional ourselves, that is like fuel to the fire. And it can be a really scary space to be in and not feeling safe ourselves. And I know how exhausting it is to have a child. So I've got three of them myself, and not having that support around you can be so challenging. Um,
Yeah. Quite scary.
it is scary. You're looking at, trying to be independent, wanting to be independent, wanting to believe that things will get better, wanting to believe that you will be safe. But
Yeah.
really, I want to encourage you to trust your heart space. What does your heart tell you?
Um, I'm not sure. I'm intuitive myself. I just feel so disconnected.
Yeah,
I
yeah, I understand.
yeah, I feel so lost, unable
Yeah,
to even hear my own inner guidance at the moment.
yeah. And so are you yeah, I know that you've got some big decisions to go forward with right now. I want to encourage you again to create safety for yourself. Okay? Emotional
Yeah.
and physical safety for yourself. That is the primary thing to be focused on and to
Yeah.
ask other people for help right now and to swallow your pride and ask for help. Okay? I want to encourage you to
Yeah.
remember that you are loved, that you are supported, that you are encouraged to feel safe. And if that means asking for your partner to get some help and for you to be somewhere else for a little while, but that's okay. Okay.
Yeah. I've
So
been very
I want,
unsure of what to do there.
yeah, Well, I want to encourage you to reach out to a women's support group and a women's support system that's local to your area, and seek more support and more guidance and more help, because it sounds like you need a little bit more help than what I can offer on a psychic radio show. But please reach out for help. Please know that your safety, your emotional and physical safety, is the most primary thing to be mindful of, and that you are deserving of love, that you are deserving of a safe space, and that if you need to just take some space to consider that, that's okay. That's okay.
Thank you.
All right. I'm sending you the biggest hug. I am sending you Archangel Michael to watch over you and keep you safe emotionally. And I want to encourage you to visualize mirrors around you. Visualize mirrors, okay, around you, so that your energy is not as affected by this person that you are so worried about. And just be mindful that every time you're thinking about that person, that you're giving him your energy. And I want to encourage you to focus your energy on yourself, on your best possible future, and to know that everything will be okay, and that ultimately you're in control. You are. You're in control. Okay? With determination and self-love and self-respect and self-compassion, absolutely anything is possible. And you can get out of any situation that's not safe for you. Okay?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I wish I could help more, but I really want to encourage you to reach out to some support groups in your local area tomorrow or today, whatever time it is in Australia. I think it's already tomorrow. So
Thank you.
You're welcome, my dear. All the best to you, okay?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Now, I want to just remind all of our listeners that are listening today that the relationship that we have with ourself can be a little disconnected, and it is really important to check in with ourselves and see, how are you feeling? Do you need some space? Do you need to take space? A lot of the people calling in here might be empaths. You might be an empath. Do you feel emotions from other people? Do you get overwhelmed around other people's energies? Do you feel like you need to fix everyone around you? I know that I am a physical empath and also an emotional empath, and that there are different types of empaths. So if you need extra support, I encourage you to listen to the book Empath Survival Guide and give yourself the gift of empowerment and learn more about yourself. Okay, we've got another caller coming in right now. We've got Connie in San Diego, California. Welcome, Connie.
Thank you. How are you? Thank you so much for taking the call. I appreciate you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for calling in, and thanks for waiting. You've got...
Of course, my pleasure. That was a beautiful closing statement. It was so powerful.
Oh, thank you.
It was so powerful.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. You've got really beautiful energy. I don't see this color combination very often, but I can see your aura colors. I can see that they're purple, pink, and orange, which is a big deal.
Oh, wow.
That means that you're clairvoyant, that you're psychic, that you're an empath.
Mm-hmm.
And usually I see that color combination with people. Sometimes they're hairdressers or hairstylists, or they just really love helping people, being around people, being needed. Mm-hmm. They love chatting with people, talking to people, giving them advice. So I'm thinking, hey, Connie, you could have your own show here on A1R Psychic Radio. We just need to train you.
Believe me, that would be so great.
Yeah. So what can I help you with?
Oh, God.
Today?
Okay, sweetie. The thing is that I'm in between decisions. I feel like all my paths are like somewhat blocked. And I really don't see a way out.
Okay.
I lost my apartment on October 31st.
Uh-oh.
and I'm living with my ex, his girlfriend, which is a, a psychiatric patient, literally, and his son.
Yeah. Okay. So you're in like a
So
toxic environment and you're not financially empowered to be
extremely.
independent. Mm. Well, I have to tell you, Connie, that your highest self and your spirit guides are telling me some messages that you might not like to hear right now. So I hope you're open to some loving guidance from your highest self consciousness right now. Now, I want you to know that you are gifted. Okay. You have talents, you have spiritual abilities that I feel are untapped, that you have a level of creativity that is a little bit untapped, that you are very good at talking to people and giving guidance. You might be dealing with imposter syndrome a lot, where you're thinking, well, who am I to give guidance when my own life is a mess, right? But guess what, Connie? You've been through a lot. You've been through a lot of stuff. And that's what's blocking you. The stuff that's blocking you is all the layers of trauma and emotional circumstances and all the times that you have said yes where you didn't want to. Those create little nuggets of densities in our chakras that are not great.
Okay.
So I want to encourage you to start talking to your inner child consciousness. And I have a really good meditation on my YouTube channel right now that it's called Highest Self Meditation. I think it's called Highest Self or Inner Child Meditation. I want to encourage you to do that meditation. It's not long. It's only like 9 or 8 minutes long. And to do this repeatedly, because you will develop a relationship with your highest self, with your inner child, and you'll be able to start making decisions from your highest good rather than just being stuck in survival mode. Now, I want to encourage you to go out there and get some kind of employment where you're helping people. I'm very curious what you're capable of with services, that kind of a thing, because I feel like you'd be really good at offering some kind of service to other people in person. So that could be you helping at a spa behind a desk or at a hairstylist place behind the desk. That could be cleaning up somewhere, could be tidying up, cleaning, something like that. Your aura colors tell me that you're really good at tidying up, you're really good at cleaning. You could be cooking food, caring for people somehow, caring for elderly people, organizing spaces. I think that you might have some physical issues with a lot of physical work.
Yes.
So we want to be mindful of that and do something that's a little bit more talking and organization related if possible. And to just put yourself out there, okay? Because doing nothing is going to keep you stuck. Not believing in yourself is going to keep you stuck. Not clearing your energy, not clearing all the trauma is going to keep you stuck. So I
apply for state disability because the doctor wants me to be on disability for a while.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for that to click in.
I know that's going to keep you financially repressed quite a bit. So I do feel like there are some issues with you with working, but I also feel like you could do something. So I want to encourage you again to empower yourself somehow. You know, you could learn how to use your intuition and learn how to use tarot cards and learn how to deliver a reading really well. I think you'd be really good at it. I'm feeling like maybe that's the thing that you're supposed to be doing right now that could earn you income. It's just being mindful of being personally responsible for our energy and not shifting your trauma onto other people and clearing that away from yourself through meditative practices, through visualizations. Okay. So I don't want you to feel stuck. I don't want you to feel disempowered. I want you to know that you are valued, that your life has a lot of value, and that you have a lot of spiritual ability to offer to the world. And I'm a little bit frustrated that that's not happening at all. That's the highest self-consciousness speaking. That's the part that I was a little nervous to tell you. But I want you to believe in yourself.
No, I understand completely. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Well, I encourage you to take some brave steps forward, and I wish you the best of luck. Okay. Thank you so much for calling in, and good luck with everything.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome, Connie. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for listening today. We have a lot of powerful messages to keep ourselves feeling safe, to be mindful of the environments that we are allowing ourselves to get stuck in, to believe in ourselves enough to take some very brave steps to make some huge changes in our life. Twice tonight, it's popped up that people are not living in emotionally or physically safe spaces, and that can be a very difficult thing to be living with. So I want to encourage all of you to be very mindful of self-care, very mindful of the space that you are in your own consciousness, and to work on clearing some of the trauma that has accumulated over your life, and ask spirit for help. Ask your loved ones on the other side to help you, and be specific about what kind of future you want to be living in, and visualize that when you ask for help. Please know that you are loved, that you are watched over, that your loved ones on the other side care very much about you and your well-being, and they want you to be okay. So I encourage you to send all of them on the other side lots of love tonight, and to ask for the help that you need. And I will see all of you next Thursday on the Teressa Joubert Show. Thank you, everyone, for listening in, and I'll see you next week.